Hello friends, and welcome back to I Don't Work Here Lady. I hope you've already subscribed so you don't miss any of the new videos and our first story today. Listen, I'm going to get you fired and make sure you never have a job. Let me introduce the characters of my interesting meeting with a very entitled lady. Me, M-E-L, entitled lady. P-E, poor employee that somehow lived through this. P-M, poor manager that called it a Tuesday. So let me begin. This happened back in 1999. I was 19 years old in the Army, and I looked nothing like an employee at this local Walmart. So I just got my very first career job, which is the Army, and I was very excited about being in the Army. With that said, I was able to rent my own place and was stoked at being a real adult. Or so I thought. When I finally got leave to go on vacation, or leave as they call it in military, I decided to head to Walmart and buy a bed and a TV so I could just veg out in my place with my own rules. So I dressed in my PT uniform, I went to Walmart, and as I was walking up and down the aisles, this older lady asked me for a bit of help to load a microwave into her cart. Being the totally nice guy I am, I said no problem. That was mistake number one. Mistake number two, I told her to have a good day. As I returned to my mission, someone, EL, tapped on my shoulder. Immediately, she demanded I get her something off the shelf. The only reason I said no is because she snapped her fingers at me like I was some kind of servant. I told her no and went about my business. Mistake number three. She started up a huge storm of cussing at me and telling me I don't belong in her country anyway. For context, I'm very dark brown and my hair is straight. A lot of people think I'm Mexican or from the Middle East. I'm not. I'm half black and white. Anyway, as she's screaming at me and I'm simply tuning her out, which is, in retrospect, what I should have done was tell her to stop, this PE shows up and is immediately her next target. This EL ripped into this poor girl who is seconds from crying. Again, I step in and tell her that she is a rude little person. I was a bit more colorful, but I am keeping this post PG-13. Just as I finish my tirade of telling her off, in steps this PM. Again, the lady goes into graphic detail of how I called her a string of bad words, and she wants me fired. The PM looks at me, and I assume he's ex-military, and says, "Madam, he doesn't work here. He's clearly from the Army." Hence the words on his clothes. She turns bright red with anger or embarrassment, and after about 25 seconds of quiet, she looks me in the eye and says she wants my boss's number so she can get me fired, etc., etc. I obliged and give her my captain's number. Then she says, "Once I learn your name, I'm going to make sure you never get a job in this state again." I nearly died from laughing. I walked away thinking it was over. Boy, was I wrong. It ended up being funny as hell, but wow. So, after about 4 days, I've kind of forgotten about the whole ordeal. Then I get a call from my CO asking for me to see him ASAP. I get down to his office and blow me over, the EL is in the office saying, "Yep, that's him, fire him now." My CO has her leave so I can tell my half, and this ended up being like a 3-day investigation. The only reason why so long, they needed footage from Walmart, which clearly showed I did nothing wrong. So a day or so later, it's my CO and EL sitting in his office. He explains that not only was I not getting punished, but we've requested a restraining order against her. She lost her mind and was escorted off base. Luckily for me, I've yet to run back into her. I hope you guys find my interesting day to be awesome. Got assaulted at a grocery store for wearing a manager costume. I was shopping at a store that rhymes with strafse this weekend, and on the way back home from a really awesome date with my fiance, so I was dressed pretty nicely. Black jacket, black skirt, heels. Fiance and I usually go our separate ways in the store to achieve the best efficiency of finishing our list as fast as possible. So I was alone when this interaction started. An older Karen, probably around 60, was puttering around the soup aisle and hemming and hawing at the sale, 10 for $10, and I guess she saw me with my cart putting something back on the shelf. She cleared her throat a few times and stomped around, but obviously I was just minding my own business. K. "Hey lady," me, deciding between Stafesray brand mac and cheese or Kraft. "Hey you, manager, excuse me, hey." Me, finally acknowledging her. "Oh, me? I'm not a manager. Do you need some help or something?" "Well, obviously you're a manager. Why else would you be dressed like that? Which of these soups count for the 10 for 10? Me. I'm not a manager. I don't work here. I don't know, probably the ones that are directly next to the 10 for 10 sign. What the hell's your problem? Me. You're the one yelling at me. Karen stomped over, wagging her finger at me like I was a child, yelling at me about customer service, how I should do my job and help her choose her soups and all that's wrong with the youth today. Something also along the lines of getting me fired for incompetence. I don't know. I zoned out. Me. Ma'am, if you need help, go to one of the cashiers that work here and ask them. I'm buying food just like you. Stop lying. Do you think I'm stupid? You're a effing manager here. You're wearing the costume. You think you can just... Me. Okay, listen, Then Karen smacks my hand, making me drop the box of mac and cheese I was holding. Don't effing interrupt me. Me. What the hell, lady? You just hit me. Yeah, you interrupted me. Me. Seriously, what the hell? At this point, my fiancé heard my yelling and zoomed over. He was also nicely dressed, button up, black slacks, the works. What's happening, babe? Are you all right? Me. She just slapped my hand because she's too thick to hear me when I say I don't work here. What? Karen, you need to fire this bee because she won't do her job. Fiancé, you really think everyone dressed remotely nice is a manager? Karen, well, I know she is. She was putting back that jar earlier. Me, because I didn't want to buy it, dumbass. Karen, you can't talk to me that way. Me, babe, grab an actual manager, please, because I'm going to call the cops on this crazy bee. Karen, I'm a paying customer. Me and fiancé, so are we. This is getting long, so the rest went like this. She stepped back in shock that we both yelled at her, and fiancé waved over some poor unsuspecting person. The actual manager got there, and the lady started her BS again about how both me and my fiancé should get fired, how we suck, etc., blah, blah, blah. She proudly admitted to hitting me, by the way, which was hilarious. The manager looked at us and back at her and told her to apologize for hitting me and that she should leave. She again mentioned my manager costume and how it's my fault. The manager in his actual manager outfit pointed to his badge and name tag, his specific all-black outfit, and tried to explain to her that all managers are dressed like he was, that we were definitely not managers just because we looked nice, and she's assaulting another customer. But she deserved it for talking back to me. The manager had this, I want to run you over with a car look on his face, and he slowly spoke to her like she was 3, again explaining that we didn't work there. I piped up, asking the manager politely to inform the woman that if she didn't apologize, I would like him to call the police and file for assault. The manager repeated to this lady slowly, and the lady screeched and threw a can on the ground, swiped her arm through a bunch of the soups, causing them to avalanche to the ground, and briskly waddled out of the store. We helped the manager pick up the soup, even though he kept saying sorry and that we didn't have to help him. He also asked if we wanted to press charges, and I said, no, there's no point. I just thought it would make her go away. But if he wanted to make a police report, I'd be happy to provide my statement. We laughed about my manager costume and got a $30 gift card to use for our groceries. Lady tries to get me fired when I don't clean up a rotting carcass for her. The cast is Kay, Karen, me. So I'm working at my local fire department in their internship program. My job is to put up beach flags and check the flags regularly based on the weather. If you don't know what I mean by beach flags, they're colored flags that symbolize the level of danger that the water poses. Green is safe, yellow is caution, red is don't swim. I live in a tourist town along one of the Great Lakes, so there are a lot of entitled tourists that visit. The process of checking the flags is to drive by the beaches and evaluate if the color of the flag matches the current water conditions. The story starts with me going about my normal business. I'm driving along one of the beaches, just doing my job. It was a particularly hot day that day, so there were many people swimming. As I'm about to leave and go to the next beach, I get signaled down by the Karen. I pull over to see what she needs from me. Karen, hello, excuse me, you look like a city worker. Can you help me? I'm driving a mule, which is a glorified golf cart, and wearing a reflective vest, so I guess that's where she got that from. Me, cluelessly. Sure, what is it? Karen, I've been calling the city maintenance department for the past hour trying to get someone down here, and you just about drove away. Your supervisor will be hearing about this. Me, I'm sorry about that, but I don't work for the city. What seems to be the problem? I guess I might work for the city, but I'm officially employed by the fire department. Karen, there's a dead fish on the shore barely 10 feet from where my family's trying to enjoy our vacation. Get rid of it. Me, I can't take care of that, but I can try to get hold of who can. Karen, No, I've been calling for an hour now. My family's vacation is being ruined because of you now. Me. I'm sorry, but this isn't my job. I'm not a maintenance person. I just put up the beach flags. Karen, I don't care. Go clean that up before I decide you don't work here anymore. I then gave her the number to our department and promptly left her in the dust. While I was leaving and headed to the next beach, I gave my boss a call and a heads up about the momzilla that was about to call him and decide I don't work for him anymore. My boss answered her call shortly after I warned him about her, and he chewed her out for harassing me and thinking that she could fire any teenager she wanted to. Him and I had a good laugh about that later on. Hey guys, want to thank you all for watching the video to the end, and we'll see you soon.